Welcome. My name is Dr. Maggie McMenamin. I am the president of Union County College, and this is Inside the College. My guests this month are two individuals who are leaders of the Union County St. Patrick's Day Parade. And this is Parade Month in Union County, and the biggest St. Patrick's Day Parade in the state of New Jersey is the one right here in Union County. My guests are the General Chairman, Tony Brennan, and the Adjutant, Katie Holmes. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We're thrilled to have you here, and we want to learn a lot about this parade. Union County College has been marching in the Union County St. Patrick's Day Parade for 4 or 5 years now, and I know that the two of you are integral in getting this parade off the ground. But let's start with you, General Chairman. Tony, what does the General Chairman do? What is the General Chairman's role in the parade?
First of all, Dr. McMenamin, it's an honor to be on this program with you. Over the past couple of months, you and I have walked quite a journey leading up to what's going to be a great parade on March 14th, and I am delighted to have you as a part of our great team this year, along with Kathleen as our Grand Marshal. I'm very, very proud of that.
Well, you know that it's an honor for me to be the Grand Marshal of this terrific parade, and I can't wait till March 14th. But tell me more about the parade. Tell me, what does the General Chairman do?
The General Chair's role is really to oversee the entire parade operations, to appoint committee chairs, really to put the right people in the right positions. The great thing about our parade is that we have a wonderful staff of dedicated individuals whose love of their heritage and love of our parade goes back many, many years.
You know, before I got appointed as Grand Marshal, I had no idea of all the background work involved. You're talking about committees and large groups of volunteers. You're putting these groups together, these committees together. What do they do?
Well, actually, they're part of the entire parade. We have committees that deal with our fundraising and the different events that we have leading up to the parade, and so on and so forth. We've had some great events so far this year with, we begin our parade season, our first fundraiser is our golf outing, and we had a marvelous time.
Was that the one at Galloping Hill?
That was the one at Galloping Hill.
On a beautiful day, too.
That was October 2nd, and it was just absolutely phenomenal. And we've had other events, our Celebrity Bartenders event. We had a beautiful, beautiful investiture mass. And all of these events have different chairs of them, and they have different groups of individuals that assist in putting them together. That leads up to building up to what we have on March 14th. Of course, the General Chair is also involved to an extent with fundraising, with getting the word out about this parade, and really to be one of the cheerleaders of the parade, and it's a role I love.
I know this year you are General Chairman, but you're not new to the Union County St. Patrick's Day Parade. You've been involved for over a decade now, I understand.
It's been longer than that. I actually got involved because of working locally in cable television here in Union County, which I've had the honor of doing for 22 years. And in 1997, it was my first assignment with our parade to go out and do a package, do a story on that parade. The very first person I got to interview was then Governor Christine Todd Whitman, who was at our parade in 1997. In 1998, we began doing start-to-finish television on the parade, and I have been honored to be the voice of the parade every single year from 1998 all the way up to 2014.
So Tony Brennan, General Chairman of the 2015 parade, but overall voice of the Union County St. Patrick's Day Parade.
And that's a title that I'm very, very honored to have.
Fantastic. Now, I want to turn our conversation to Katie Holmes. Kathleen Holmes or Katie.
Whichever.
I know that your title is Adjutant.
Yes.
And the first time I went to a parade, I saw somebody with a sash on that said Adjutant, and I didn't know what it was. So I'm sure there are others out there. Some of our viewers want to know what is an adjutant and what's your role in the parade.
The adjutant is basically the one that puts the parade on the street.
So you do the work, he gets the credit?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, we all get the credit. We all get the credit.
With this parade committee, you've seen it's I keep saying it, it's a well-oiled machine. Everybody works so well together that this parade could pretty much put itself on the street at this point. But you do need somebody. I send out all the invitations to everybody to march, all the band contracts. Every group that's there has gotten a participation form. And then we get it back and we sit down and we decide who's going to go where.
The line of march?
We do our line of march, and then we go out and we make sure that everybody on that street is lined up exactly the way they're supposed to be and where they're supposed to be. And you know, the Irish, we listen so well. So it becomes, but
it's really logistics. The
It's
logistics
logistics, exactly.
in planning and then in execution on parade day.
Right.
Now, I heard that there are a lot of bands in this parade, and I've never counted them, but
there are, I think we have, God, I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying, but I think we have 26 right now.
26
Yeah,
pipe bands.
26. Not all pipe bands, some school marching bands, and a few other, but mostly pipe bands.
Well, one of my
yes.
favorite expressions is, I love the band. It doesn't matter if it's a pipe band or a marching band.
Right, it's a
but
band,
tell me some of the bigger bands that you have coming.
We have the ones that are always there and at every fundraiser for us: Union County Pipe and Drum, Sean McGonigal, St. Columkille.
My favorite?
I know. We have the Port Authority. We have the New Jersey State Police Blue and Gold. So we have some really fabulous pipe bands. We have Union High School marching bands, Roselle Park marching bands.
So a lot of the high school bands as well. Wonderful. Now, you mentioned the New Jersey State Police Band, the pipes and drums of the Blue and Gold. Now, I understand, Tony, you have a special connection with the state police. Do you want to share that with us?
I do. In 1992, on April 2nd, 1992, a cousin of mine who was a state trooper was killed while on duty up on Route 78 in Summit, Trooper Thomas Hanratty. Every year, the state police, Blue and Gold, and the troopers come out and march in his honor. We've had a division of the parade named after my cousin for many years. The troopers come out and support our parade more than they support any other parade in the state of New Jersey. And this year, and Katie, correct me if I'm wrong, but we expect between 80 and 100 troopers.
80 and 100 state police.
Marching proudly.
Wonderful.
That's beyond the band.
In addition to the
In
pipe
Oh, in
band.
addition to the band, yes.
So gone but not forgotten,
That's
Trooper
the-
Hanratty.
That's the saying of him, and it's just a legacy that his family, many of his friends, a lot of our family march in the parade. And
Wonderful.
it's
Well, it's a tremendous tribute to Trooper Hanratty and to your family. So I'm looking forward to seeing that as well.
Yes.
Katie, I know that there are a lot of people watching this parade, watching this show, who would like to come out to see the parade. And I know logistically it's also difficult to get around in Union Township on parade
It
day.
is, but there are a few of the municipal parking lots that they will be allowed to park at. And if it's okay, I could give my cell phone out.
Sure.
They can call me, and because they do.
Tell you what, we'll put it on the crawl at the
Okay.
lower part of the screen,
They
the lower
do
third.
start shutting the streets down early. I want to say around 10 o'clock. But
So-
if you're in those side streets before 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, they'll let you in. To tell you the truth, I'm really not sure which municipal lots right now that they can park in, but we do allow them to park in.
Do we post that kind of information on the parade website?
I believe we do.
Yes, we do.
Days
Okay.
beforehand.
So that is www.stpatricksday
Union
County.
ST PatricksDayParade.com.
Okay, and we'll put that on the lower third as well, so that people can get additional information,
Right.
not just about parking, but about the parade, the committee, the history of the parade, and any other information that they may need.
They can always
So
find that on the websites.
just give us the details. When is parade day? What time? And what's
March
a good
14th. The kickoff is at 1 o'clock, so be on the street before that. Be on the street by 11:30, 12. We do have grandstand activities on Stuyvesant and Morris Avenue, and I believe that starts at noon,
It does start at noon, yes.
where they'll do face painting up there, and the museum will be up there. There'll be step dancing up there, Irish
step
music,
dancing?
Irish step
Yes.
dancing, and Irish music.
Okay, so tell me, is this the type of thing that is family-friendly event?
Absolutely.
So,
All our events
a
are
lot of
family-friendly.
kids?
Yes.
So
Bring all the kids.
So the children enjoy this as well as, and how long
Yes.
does it go on?
Including the grandstand activities, I would say about 3 hours.
About 3 hours.
Right.
So parade 1 to 3
1
approximately?
to 3 approximately.
Approximately down Morris Avenue in
Make-
Union
Right,
Township.
onto Stuyvesant.
Onto Stuyvesant. Well, it sounds like an exciting event. It sounds like you've got a huge job in logistically managing those groups. You said 26 bands, and who else marches besides bands?
Oh, you've got so many organizations. You got like all the Irish organizations, the Boy Scouts, the Vets, the Knights of Columbus.
So a variety
Union
of,
County Police Departments, fire departments. There's
so it's the place to be on March 14th.
absolutely.
All right, we're looking for a great day. One last question for our general chairman. Tell us about the weather on March 14th. Everyone, viewers want to know, what's the weather going to be like?
Well, we are keeping our fingers crossed. We're saying prayers now. I have our parade chaplain, Father Chuck McDermott, saying daily prayers for the weather. And whether it is cloudy, whether it is sunny, the sun always shines on the Union County St. Patrick's Day Parade. I want to add one thing onto what Katie said. We pride ourselves as being the finest family-oriented St. Patrick's Day Parade in the state of New Jersey, and we're very, very proud of that. There is something at our parade for everyone, and I hope everyone's going to come out and join us, and I say us because you will be leading our parade, Dr. McMenamin, very proudly as our Grand Marshal.
I'm happy to be the Grand Marshal of this wonderful, family-friendly St. Patrick's Day Parade in Union County. It's just a great honor and a spectacular event. My guests this morning for the first segment of the show have been General Chairman of the Union County St. Patrick's Day Parade, Tony Brennan, and Adjutant, Logistics Coordinator Extraordinaire, really, Katie Holmes, who puts the parade on the street. We'll be right back after these messages.
My dad's one of the producers. He's there today. Bring this one.
Welcome back to Inside the College. I'm Dr. Maggie McMenamin, President of Union County College. Our topic this month is the Union County St. Patrick's Day Parade, and in this second segment, my guest is the Honorable Sheriff Joe Cryan, Sheriff of Union County. Welcome, Sheriff Cryan.
Maggie, thanks for having me.
I'm thrilled that you're here, and I really wanted to talk with you about parade history. I know you've been involved from the beginning. You're actually, I think, one of the founders of the Union County St. Patrick's Day Parade. And as we enter Parade Month and in this final few weeks for preparation, I wanted to hear more about how it got started.
Well, it is actually Parade Month now, right? It continues on. Some people think it's just one day, but there's an awful lot of work that goes into it. I did have the honor of being the first general chairman, and a lot of folks came together. Union County was one of the few counties in the state, I believe the only county at the time, that did not have a St. Patrick's Day parade. So the genesis of the idea came from some of the Irish organizations that were together. We had traditionally been part of the Newark St. Patrick's Day parade. So folks came together from different associations, the Nugents, the Friendly Sons, the Emeralds, and others, and said, you know what, maybe it's time for us here in Union County to celebrate our traditions of Irish heritage and come forward and kind of put some awareness on the street. We did, and it took a little while to do so. It took about 18 months overall, but it was a lot of fun. We had a great first year with one significant setback and tragedy. We lost our first Grand Marshal early, an icon to many in Union County, Father Charles Hudson.
That?
Father Charles Hudson. Hudson House, for those who may recall, is a place he had founded. The Center of Hope Hospice, had done so much work with Peg Coloni for the terminally ill, was a pastor in Westfield at St. Helens. Father Hudson was revered, and then we lost him suddenly between the time that we had nominated and he accepted to be our first Grand Marshal and from the time the parade actually happened. But we remembered him. We remember him each and every year. And with the organization and the folks that came together, we've been able, I think, to have a very successful first year, and we've grown each and every year to a point where we can nominate outstanding people today to lead us down the street on March 14th.
Well, you know, it's a big honor for me and certainly for my family. My mother's thrilled that she's
That's
getting
great.
to ride in the parade.
That
She's
is
very
great.
happy about it. But I know that putting a parade like this on the street is not an overnight event, and I call it Parade Month, but it's really Parade Year preparation. Give me an idea of how it's grown and what are the kinds of challenges that you face getting a parade like this out on the street.
Well, the challenges for today, say from the first year. The first year we were kind of developing it. So how we lined folks up, how we were organized was significantly different than the way it's done today. But the reality is it's a financial requirement for it, which is fairly extensive. And there's also an obligation of folks to come together and make sure that there's a crowd on the street, that folks aren't marching in front of an empty street, but also that it's well organized. The first adjutant the first year, a man I honor and adore to this day, John Langen, was with the Union County Prosecutor's Office. We met through the parade. Which actually is one of the great parts of it. There's been so many friendships that have been garnered over the years as we've rotated chairman, as we've become younger in terms of staff and so on. It's really been a kind of an honor to watch that grow and that part of it and continue the legacy. But the challenges are different because you don't want to be stale. Each chairman brings in their own input, as does each Grand Marshal. They bring in new folks, they bring in a different perspective. And the idea of the parade is that you grow each and every year through the eyes of others.
One thing that I noticed at several of the events that I've attended over the last 3 or 4 months since my nomination was that you have a nice core of young people engaged. So it's not like some of the social organizations that are all, shall we say, senior citizens. I've seen a lot of young adults involved in these activities.
You know, it's been a challenge in this part of New Jersey. Like I'm the son of an immigrant from Ireland, as my dad. My mother's parents are from Donegal, off the boat. And there's so many that can trace their history 1, 2 generations, or very few. It's often been a challenge to keep that next generation involved. And we've been very fortunate in this parade to have so many that are part of that. And it has been a great thrill to see that. It's a challenge to keep groups going. As populations change, as demographics change, keeping the organizations that are involved in the parade strong, as well as the parade itself, is an ongoing challenge. And it's something that, thanks to the influx of young people in the parade and in other areas, has been a success for us.
Well, I know that the parade is more than just a group of people marching down Morris Avenue. It really is about our pride in our great heritage, Irish heritage, and our shared commitment to values, to family, and to helping others who are less fortunate. And I'm picking up on that in every meeting that I attend, whether it's with the Friendly Sons or the Knights or even just the parade committee. They want to do good for others, and perhaps that's what's connecting them to the people.
It creates a common bond, I think, and as times change, the reality is people always have needs. And the groups that are the basis of the parade are all formed on charitable organizations. The Friendly Sons do a remarkable scholarship program. The Nugent Association does a remarkable work with charity within the community. That kind of tradition continues on and on. You know, the old Irish way was you'd stop at a place and get a job in a labor union, and that was a connection you made and you were part of a community. You were defined by where your community was. Today, it's a little bit more about how do you help others, how's your success and part and parcel of making sure that your community is stronger. And I think that's part of the values that have made the parade so strong.
One of the premier organizations affiliated with the parade is Cryans Association, John Cryan Association. And I know I was fortunate to get a nomination to be Grand Marshal from your association. Right. So tell me about that group. And I know that it's strong Essex County connections, similarly strong Union County connections. Can you give us a little background on that?
Sure, and thanks for asking. And we were proud to nominate you, and we're proud to walk down the street behind you on March 14th. The Cryan Association was founded by my father, who's an off-the-boat immigrant from County Roscommon. Came here in this country in the 40s, started the association in 1961. We've been a continuous association since then, so well, north of 50 years. We lost my dad in 2004. I've been the standard bearer since. The irony of it is that my father, as a political individual, was an assemblyman, an undersheriff, and a sheriff. I am an assemblyman, an undersheriff, and a sheriff. So there's a little bit of that kind of bonding to it. But more so, my dad was very popular in Essex County, and he had been in the bar restaurant business, as well as in politics. He had a number of establishments in Essex County, created a lot of friendships over the years. Some of that and a lot of that has transitioned over to Union County, and we've been able to grow that a little bit. It's been really a positive thing. The association was formulated on just those things you talked about earlier, Megs. It's about family, faith, and friendship, and it's a charitable group. We help others. That's the whole idea. We don't carry a lot of money. What we do, we give away, and that's the purpose of it.
It sounds like a wonderful group, and really talking about just ties to the past and ties to Ireland and immigration is something that is certainly relevant here in Union County today, as I view the county as being really the port of entry for so many immigrants from so many other countries. And I still remember my father talking about how important it is for us to welcome immigrants from other countries, as maybe we were not welcomed when we arrived. But
well, the old signs, the Irish need not apply. And in those days, when my father came in the 40s, you stopped at McGovern's. He would tell me the story about Frank McGovern giving him money. My old man came here with $5 in his pocket, and one of his proudest achievement was being able to put his kids through college. And frankly, I can tell you one of his other proudest achievements was a day he was able to, in the home that he grew up in, actually be able to provide running water. Oh. So those are real stories, and we're not connecting far past, we're connecting just one generation to the next. He always said, and I agree with him completely, let's make sure that welcome mat's open for the next generation as well. Because the reality is the American dream is the Irish dream, is everyone's dream.
And that's relevant here in Union County today, certainly.
Very much so.
Now, you're just transitioning from, as you said, similar to your father, or walking in his footsteps practically, from your role as assemblyman to your role as sheriff. What are the biggest challenges, and do you miss being an assemblyman? Or talk to us about being sheriff of Union County.
Well, it's a great honor, and I'm there. I was an undersheriff for 11 years. I worked for a great man in Ralph Froelich. He was there for over 30 years. We were sorry to lose the sheriff. He passed last year, which created the vacancy. I chose to run for it, which transitioned from the assembly. I'm honored to work with. We have over 200 employees, over 170 officers. I'm honored to work with them each and every day. We're trying to put in a new energy, yet remember the foundation of success that we've had in our past. And that has been a bit of a challenge, but it's been an ongoing great honor to be part of. I love being sheriff. I love working with the people I work with, and I love providing the services to Union County that I think are so desperately needed. And I think we do a great job. Certainly the voters felt enough confidence to back that up as well, so I was honored by that. I don't miss the assembly per se in terms of the driving up and down in Trenton, but I love public policy. You yourself, and one of the Irish tradition and roots is in the opportunity for education to provide a better life to people. We tried to focus on areas like education, helping youth in alternative ways. Had some success down there along the way, but it was time to move on, and I'm really happy I did so.
Well, we're thrilled to have you as our sheriff, but we did lose a powerful advocate for community colleges when you left the assembly. So I'm curious, and I can't let you leave here without us talking about one of your big issues, and that is student success. Our tagline here at Union County College is students are number one, and we are focused like a laser beam on improving our student success outcomes, our retention rates, completion rates, graduation rates. But talk to me a little bit about that. Where do you think that's headed in the state and across the nation?
Well, the president has created this initiative to have the opportunity potentially for free community college. We'll see how that deals with the Congress. But he has focused again, which he has continuously, on the idea of community colleges being a pathway to success for so many, and the mission of community colleges. I have to tell you, part of the reason I'm going to be so proud to walk down Morris Avenue behind you is the fact that you've lasered in on student outcomes and student achievements. You've provided the support mechanisms in place that I will be very candid are missing among many of your peers, if you don't mind me being too forward to say so. You've redirected for what student experience is supposed to be about, a positive outcome for a positive future. I believe that there still needs to be more work done in that. I believe that the legislature hopefully will continue its mission to provide that. But frankly, I hope they just take the lead that you've taken here in Union County. And I know that sounds patronizing because we're sitting here one-to-one. You and I have had private conversations from years past. You've changed the focus of this remarkable community college to one of student outcomes being providing for a future. I know I'm so proud of it. My daughter's here. And I think she's getting a tremendous education, and she'll tell you she is. And I think that's because of your leadership.
Well, thank you, Sheriff. Thank you, Joe. Today we have multiple topics. We're talking about the Union County St. Patrick's Day Parade. Sheriff Cryan is one of the founders of that parade. He was the first general chairman of the parade. And earlier on, we had two guests, the 2015 general chairman, Tony Brennan, and our 2015 adjutant, Katie Holmes. The parade is on March 14th at 1 p.m. on Morris Avenue in Union Township. And we're hoping that all of you will be joining Union County College, 26 different bands from across the region, including the New Jersey State Police Band, the pipes and drums of the blue and gold, to march with us to celebrate Irish culture, Irish heritage, and a commitment to helping one another through community organizations. I'm Dr. Maggie McMenamin. I'd like to thank our guest, Sheriff Joe Cryan, for joining me today talking about the parade. We hope to see you all on Morris Avenue this year to join in the fun and the celebration. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next month.